Well, hello again, boys and girls. It's Mr. Wassman, and once again, we are working on our persuasive essays using our persuasive essay planners. Now, the last time we spoke, we talked about creating a mini story that helps support our first reason. And again, our thesis is built from a position and three reasons. So today what we're going to do is we are going to duplicate the process that we used for creating our first reason paragraph to create our second reason paragraph. So as you can see, when I composed my first reason paragraph that everyone should learn how to play a musical instrument because it teaches you discipline, I took the core reason and added my examples that I charted on my persuasive map on slide 12 and just copied and pasted it into that planning page here. And then I composed my paragraph underneath it. So now I'm going to repeat that process. Okay, wash, rinse, and repeat, as they say. So by drafting a new paragraph about your second reason, you're basically going to follow the same formula. I'm going to copy my second reason into the box on the left, and I'm going to copy the three pieces of evidence on the stems to the right, and then I'm going to compose a new paragraph based on just those ideas. So as you can see, there's a space right below that model where you would paste your reason and paste your evidence. And then I combined a space to write both your second paragraph, or your paragraph on your second reason, I should say, and your second mini story. Today we're just going to focus on the factual part of reason number 2. Okay. And again, I already have taken the liberty of posting those pieces of information. So my thesis is that everyone should learn how to play a musical instrument because it allows you to be creative. Okay, that's the second reason within my thesis. So if I go up here to my introduction paragraph, I can copy my entire thesis, which has all three of my reasons embedded in it. And if I go down to this page right here, I can copy and paste the entire thesis like so. Then what I want to do is surgically take out reason number 1 and reason number 3. So I'm going to delete the part that says it teaches you discipline because I've already talked about that. And I'm going to take out the part that says that it's fun to make music because I haven't talked about that yet. So I believe that everyone should learn how to play a musical instrument because it allows you to be creative. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start writing some sentences that describe my evidence that you can jam or experiment when learning a musical instrument. You can compose new music or you can interpret older songs. Now I want you to notice the order in which I put those pieces of evidence. That isn't written in stone, or in another way to put it, I'm not married to this order particularly. I just put down some ideas as I was graphing my overall essay. So if you look at the paragraph that I actually composed, you're going to see that the order changed in my evidence. I believe that everyone should learn how to play a musical instrument because it allows you to be creative. As a musician, you will learn to play songs on your instrument. At first, students will try to perform these songs as they were originally composed or recorded. However, even the most faithful interpretation will have a musician's unique stamp on it. As players realize that it's almost impossible to duplicate another person's sound, it often gives them permission to experiment with new sounds and approaches. When musicians jam or riff on an existing song, it exposes them to how song structure works, which oftentimes leads them to create music of their own. You see what I did there? I basically rearranged the order. I took my third example and I made it my first example. That musicians, when first learning how to play an instrument, will start with songs that have already been written. Okay, that's how teachers will often teach the fundamentals of how music theory works, and it's probably the quickest way to get uh, students hooked on learning more or dedicating themselves to practice. Because if you pick up an instrument, you usually have um, uh, dreams of being able to play some of your favorite songs anyway. So, one of the best ways to get people hooked on learning and pursuing a musical instrument is by teaching them songs. And I didn't realize or think that through until I started drafting. The paragraph you see here is actually the result of about 20, 30 minutes of me playing around with the order of the sentences. And that happens as writers write. You start out with one idea and you pursue it, and then as you think about it and maybe consider it, you might decide, oh, I might want to try a different approach. Much like it as I describe in this paragraph about learning songs and then experimenting and riffing on the originals and turning it into something new. So that's what you're going to do today in your writing. You're going to go back to that planning page, that persuasive map. You're going to copy the information from that second strand that talks about your second reason. You're going to compose a paragraph that is just based on the examples that help support your second reason, that will then complement your first reason paragraph that talks about a different reason why you should believe the position that you do. Okay. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. But take this time now to experiment and play around with the way things are laid out, the way you originally planned them, and don't be afraid to turn things around or add in extra details or take things out. Okay, part of the writing process is experimentation and trying to figure out the best way of saying what you think. It may or may not look like it originally intended in your head, and that's kind of a beautiful thing when you surprise yourself with something creative that you weren't expecting to write until it just spilled off of your keyboard or came off of the end of your pencil. So once again, you're going to work on this paragraph, reason number 2. That will be your fourth paragraph out of 8 total paragraphs for your essay. So once you get this done, you will officially be halfway through the drafting process. So once again, if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, we will talk again soon. Thanks.